The Agriculture Department is urging farmers to ramp up planting before the full impact of the El Nino hits the country later this year. The Senate Committee on Tourism is considering an investigation into the Love the Philippines campaign. Panel chairperson Nancy Binay believes it's better to drop the new slogan altogether. And DepEd is looking to launch new national programs that will address learning gaps in core subjects this year. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your weekend. I am Mon Gualvez. We begin today's newscast with the Agriculture Department urging rice farmers to ramp up production to get ahead of the looming impact of El Nino. Pag-asa reports that the effects of El Nino would be apparent as early as the fourth quarter of 2023. Because of this, the department is advising farmers to intensify the planting of palay while conditions remain favorable. The DA said it will provide fertilizer and other forms of support to farmers. They are also identifying which areas would be affected by the El Nino. The National Irrigation Administration or NIA is also bracing for the impact of reduced water allocation from Angat Dam. NIA Regional Director Josephine Salazar noted that around 25,000 hectares of land in Bulacan and Pampanga will be affected. The agency will be mobilizing shallow tube wells and will be distributing water pumps to affected farmers to help with planting.
So yung dati pong 30 CMS na ibinibigay sa atin, yung ay magiging 20. So equivalent po nun around 10 CMS na reduction.
Mm-hmm.
Pero assured po tayo dun sa regular na 15 CMS na everyday po niyang i-release. So medyo magkakaroon din po tayo ng epekto doon sa mga nakatanim natin. Around 25,000 hectares po kasi yun eh.
In other news, the Senate Committee on Tourism is looking to lodge an inquiry into the DOT's campaign fiasco. Recall that the Love the Philippines ad drew flack last week over the use of stock footages not located in the Philippines. Both the Tourism Department and the ad agency DDB Philippines have apologized and an investigation is already underway. However, Senator Nancy Binay told 1PH that there needs to be a study on the viability of the new slogan. Binay said she's considering filing a resolution for the Senate to tackle the matter.
Sa magandang pag-aralan, magandang tingnan kung dumaan ba sa ganong proseso itong slogan na Love the Philippines. Paano magkakaroon ng proprietary right ang DOT kung hindi naman pala bayad yung ahensya dun sa pag-produce nila ng slogan. Hindi na talaga karapat-dapat na gamitin itong slogan na Love the Philippines. Kasi nga, ano na siya kumbaga damage na yung magiging slogan natin for a new campaign. Ang akin, kung ayaw na talaga nila dun sa It's More Fun, baka mas maigi na mag-ano na lang ulit ng panibago pang slogan.
Senator Binay also thinks that the budget for the new tourism slogan would be better off used in improving the country's tourism infrastructure.
At this point, yung funds na gagamitin natin for a new campaign, mas kailangan gastusin siya dun sa mga infrastructure na talagang mag-i-encourage na bisitahin tayo ng ating mga turista. Yung mga facilities natin, marami pang kailangan i-improve. So sa akin, siguro mas dapat yun yung paggastusan ng DOT and all the other agencies.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I am Mon Gualvez. Over 25,000 elementary and high school students displaced by Mayon volcano will be graduating on time this year. According to the Education Department office in Bicol, the suspension of face-to-face classes was offset by holding online or modular learning methods. The office said this allowed the students to complete the required number of school days. The graduation or moving up ceremonies would be held from July 10 to 14. Currently, Mount Mayon is still under Alert Level 3. Meanwhile, DepEd will be introducing 3 national programs this coming school year that will address the learning deficiencies in core subjects. This National Learning Recovery Program seeks to tackle academic setbacks from the COVID-19 lockdowns. The Philippines has also ranked poorly in past international assessments in reading comprehension, science, and mathematics. These learning recovery programs will also include a voluntary learning camp during the school break from July to August. DepEd will issue policy guidelines for these new programs within 90 days. After 6 decades of being the beloved toy icon, Barbie unfortunately fell off the radar. But with the highly anticipated Barbie movie, the big question now is, can Barbie reclaim her popularity? Let's find out from this Bloomberg Quick Take.
It's the best day ever.
It is the best day ever, and so is yesterday, and so is tomorrow, and every day from now until forever.
The most popular doll of all time, Barbie, is finally getting her own movie.
So cool.
The film, which is directed by Greta Gerwig and stars Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling, will poke fun at a lot of the very things the toy has been criticized for.
Or you can know the truth about the universe.
The idealized fantasy that Barbie encapsulates has undergone revamps before. In 2016, new body types and better careers were introduced, but Barbie's origins have been hard to overcome, and for good reason. Her looks were based on the Lily doll, a foot-tall, busty blonde, which wasn't actually made for kids. German men passed her around bachelor parties as a joke gift. Mattel's then CEO, Ruth Handler, discovered Lily on a family trip. She'd seen her own daughter toss aside baby dolls in favor of paper dolls, creating stories about their fashionable grown-up existences. So Handler decided to create a tiny 3D model with which children could play out their dreams of adulthood. And soon after Barbie hit the shelves, Mattel became the largest toy company in the world. For decades, Barbie was a huge success, usually accounting for about 1/3 to 1/2 of Mattel's revenue. And despite being anatomically preposterous, since so few women were actually running companies or winning political office, Barbie, the US president, the surgeon, or the corporate executive, became a role model. But with the rise of video games, some marketing missteps, just a greater awareness of eating disorders and body politics, Barbie came to be viewed as out of step, and sales fell every year between 2011 and 2015.
What do I have to do?
This summer's potential blockbuster is designed to showcase changes Barbie and society have undergone. It's also part of the business model Mattel's current CEO, Ynon Kreiz, has been trying to establish since 2018. Kreiz wants Mattel to operate more like Disney, which has created a multiverse of movies, products, shows, and theme parks off of Marvel and Star Wars characters. There are more than a dozen other movies now in production based on Mattel toys, including Hot Wheels, Uno cards, and even Magic 8 Balls. Now, making the transition will be tough. Mattel has tried and failed many times to move away from the cyclical toy manufacturing business and has never pulled off the pivot. But maybe this time it's different, because the Hollywood Trade Press, from Variety to Rotten Tomatoes, has pegged Barbie as one of the most anticipated movies of 2023.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 9 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I am Mon Gualvez. We are One News.